Yeah, we can talk about all those kinds of things.
Good.
Uh, so I'm ready if you are.
Yep.
All right.
So today we're speaking with Omar Cruz, who is a managing partner in
LLA Real Estate.
yes, LLA Real Estate, which stands for.
The leading lifestyle agent real estate group.
All right, good. So life goes on, even if the economy is suffering. And
Correct.
let's talk a little bit about what some of the experts tell us that are the keys to survival in these very times. I think one common thread is that you need to be proactive.
Correct.
How does the real estate industry proactively help people in these scary times?
So I think right now the real estate industry shares in common with almost every industry out there right now, in that everyone is just basically afraid to leave their houses. And people are afraid to leave their houses because of because of the pandemic. It's really been made difficult to show people who are looking to buy homes to go out of their house, and then people who are looking to sell their homes to let people into their homes. So if they're looking to buy a home, they're afraid of what that home is. The house clean, or do I want to go out on my way there? How many people were in that house beforehand? While sellers are also fearing, I don't know who these people are. I don't know where they've been. Do I want people coming into the house? So that's a very real, viable issue that's going on right now. You schedule an appointment, and these questions do come up, and there's really, if they don't feel comfortable, they don't feel comfortable. I don't think there's really anyone you can push to make them go over that line to go see the house or show the house.
Right, I agree.
So that's been the biggest challenge. The second part of that whole thing is, while people are afraid to leave their houses, they're afraid to leave the house even to go to work. So work has shut. Various industries are shut down completely. Various industries have shut down to where that people are working remotely. Therefore, maybe work still continues, or maybe it's just less work. It is starting to hit people's pockets, their pocketbooks, and their bank accounts pretty soon. If they own their own business, that's all part of it as well. So if people are afraid to leave their houses and people are losing their jobs, right now that's the biggest concern for every industry. If we can get this under control sooner than later, and that's I think we're all hoping for, then if you were strong and healthy beforehand, as far as the real estate industry was, if your company was strong and healthy beforehand, you should be okay. There will be a bump in the road for sure. However, today, speaking where we are today, knowing that people are having a hard time leaving their houses, a good real estate company is going to have to adapt to that concern. So if I'm representing a seller, how can I make my house, my listing, show to folks who are afraid to leave the house, to make that be their true first showing? Whereas the first showing was, they will call their agent and say, I want to go see 123 Main Street. Okay, you come see the house. That was the easy part. But now, if that phone call is not made, please show me 123 Main Street, they're asking their agent, please show me video content, show me other stuff about the house that we can see the house. And that's their first showing. So that's where real estate companies are going to have to start adapting to, that these are their first showings. The second showing, well, if they've already done that first showing, then the second showing will be more serious. So now fewer people will be able to come to the house. And perhaps if we do our jobs right as a real estate company, that second showing is based on the offer of, I'm going to buy your house contingent upon satisfactory view of your home, or satisfactory review of the inspections of the home. And that would be the first time they actually see the house physically. But that's the next step. So, and the same thing with a buyer. I'd like to see this information about these houses, and then I want to see, not only do I want to see the kitchen, not only want to see what kind of backyard it is, but I also may want to see the furnace, the central air system, the mechanicals, the roof, because those are things people get to see when they walk into a house. And if that's not made available in the pretty pictures, well, then those are things that they want to see. So real estate is starting to become more digitally focused, marketing enhanced. And if you don't have those tools, then you're going to have a hard time conducting business during these times. And who knows how long this is going to be. So that's sort of, we've sort of taken that that approach and becoming a little bit more digitally enhanced and trying to create the story of the houses that we're trying to sell to make those buyers feel more enticed and now come in and take the next step to, you know, do I want to go see that house? Am I brave enough to leave the house to see it? Or am I brave enough to put an offer and saying satisfactory review of the home?
Yeah.
That's sort of because of this, because we're stalled. We're all in our houses. That's sort of where we are right now.
Couple questions about that. First is,
Okay.
how many people are actually now out looking for houses? I mean, has the buying and selling stopped? And really the second part of that is, how have you changed the game so that people can go and explore the house digitally for the first time?
Right.
Yeah. Rather than going out in person.
Two great questions. So the first question, the numbers have dropped because I think people are just afraid, and they may not even be aware that this can actually happen. I don't think they're necessarily aware that, no, I could actually make an educated decision online, see how much content is online for me to take a look at the house. And that's where a good real estate agent would be, to get that information for their clients. Because at the end of the day, real estate is an essential business where people need to find a place to live.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a place to live. So with that being said, well, then let's find a place for everyone. So a buyer's agent should have a responsibility to be able to look up online stuff, ask for more information, ask for more photos, ask for videos of the houses that their clients would be interested in. On the other side of that coin, as a seller, they need to find that right real estate company that is adapting to these times, to be able to create enough content to post online and make it easily accessible to people who are looking to buy homes. Because right now, everybody's home. So everybody's online looking for stuff. They're not outside, they're home. And if they're not watching Netflix and Hulu, they're online looking for various things. They're shopping online, and the home buying processes becomes as simple as that right now. So the number of people going out definitely has halted. Like, I have time here at home. I actually have more time because I don't have to drive a half hour to a home. I have that half hour to stay home and be able to create this content. So I don't know if that addresses at least the first part of that question.
Yeah, so I guess I'm hearing that people are still actively looking for houses to buy or sell.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
But the dynamic has changed between first time and looking on. Now, I know that before we go on to that second part, I know that places like Zillow are pretty popular, and everybody knows Zillow. But they often don't show a lot of pictures like the furnace and things like that. Are you addressing that? And how do people connect with LLC?
LLA.
LLA, thank you. LLA, when they need to.
So the first part of that is, yes, we have, people are adapting. The numbers have gone down. They're doing more stuff online. Zillow have now begun to allow videos to be posted on their websites for homes, whereas before they didn't. The catch, however, is they want plain video. They don't want you to talk about the house. They don't want your logo on the house. They don't want little things to come across the screen. It's just really essentially just a simple walkthrough of the house with a video, and as simple as just using an iPhone. So That is something that Zillow has adapted to. In fact, they're even charging less now to allow real estate agents to do a little bit more on Zillow, which is good because this is a tough time. The number of buyers and sellers you had mentioned before, that's dwindling a little bit because as the people are losing jobs and not really working, it changes their dynamic being able to buy something. People are a little nervous about that. So lots of my clients, and I'm talking to other people in the industry, buyers just put things on pause until this thing settles down. Sellers a lot of them are withdrawing their properties off the market for a number of reasons. One, they don't want people coming in. And also two, I think they're feeling like there's a chance that their house may devalue. But the reality of it is, as homeowners take their houses off the market, the inventory comes down. And when inventory comes down, there's a low inventory, which then makes it in the favor of the seller because there's not too many options for buyers to go around. And whatever number of buyers out there right now, and it's probably a lesser number of buyers, but the buyers that are out there right now who are prepared to go shopping during these times, those have to be some serious buyers who will more than likely have already gone through the pre-approval process or maybe just got cash on hand to buy these low inventory homes, and more than likely in the seller's favor to get the prices that they're looking for, obviously within the market price. So it's just changing the numbers. Again, people need a place to live. So the market will work itself out. It may be more in favor on one side of the equation, not the other side of the equation, but that's the equation that it would be.
Okay. You mentioned pre-approval. Talk to me a little bit more in depth about the process for first-time homeowners. What do you need to do to be pre-approved? I assume that's for a mortgage. Let's talk a little bit about that.
So the process of buying homes still has not changed as of yet. If you have cash on hand, you will need to provide a proof of funds to purchase a house in cash to show the seller that you have that kind of money. And I'm not sure what's going on with the stock market. That's been very volatile lately. So the money there has been very sketchy. As far as a pre-approval process and using lending institutions, interest rates are still low and they have been going up and down each day. And they're not where they were 10 years ago, 15 years ago, at nearly 6%. They're still fluctuating anywhere from 3.5% to 4.5%, but that's still low enough that buyers should still feel comfortable. But the idea really is to find two things. One, a mortgage broker who is going to be able to think out the box and have many resources at their fingertips to be able to get people the loans that they need to purchase the property, and then finding that real estate agent that they need to do the digging and the shopping to unveil as much information to the buyer before they leave the house during these times. So that pre-approval process is going to be very important because even though everybody needs a place to live, everybody needs money in order to make that happen. So that pre-approval process is definitely an essential piece in this whole dynamic.
You mentioned mortgage broker. What's the difference or the advantage of a broker over a bank or vice versa?
So I think it's a matter of the consumer's preference, and a lot of consumers prefer to continue to use their own bank, and understandably so. They know the people there, they have their money there, they know what their financial situation is because they've been dealing with them for X number of years. At the end of the day, they can offer mortgages for their clients, and there's a lot of them that are very good programs for their clients. But the banking business is not just a mortgage business. The bank does so many more things other than just mortgages. So they don't really just specialize in mortgages. So the plans and programs that they offer clients at the bank or at their local bank, their bank's going to offer the best thing for them from what they offer. But if there's a different program out there that's maybe more beneficial to the client, that bank is not going to say, you should try that other bank across the street because they have a specific program that's specific tailored to you. That's where the mortgage broker comes in. The mortgage broker has relationships with many different banks around the country. And maybe not just banks, maybe some hard money lenders that are lending money at a low interest rate as well, that a bank cannot do because the bank is more focused on maybe the credit of that buyer, where a hard money lender working with a mortgage broker can overlook the credit a little bit, just charge a little bit more of an interest and still have that person be able to buy the house. So
Oh,
that's sort of what the differences are. But again, it comes to preference of what that consumer wants.
yeah, yeah. So we're talking about the financial part of it. Um,
Mm,
Things are going to get better eventually, and hopefully
correct.
sooner than later, as you said. What are some of the things that homeowners who are thinking about selling their house should they be doing now if there are no buyers or whatever that can help them get ready for the recovery and get the house ready and get everything in place? Are there some of those things be
I think
doing?
what they need to do is evaluate if they truly want to sell, then they need to make that decision first. Do we want to sell, and do we have a plan for when we sell? Where are we going? What is it that we need to go to? Are we downsizing? Are we upgrading to a bigger house because we're having a bigger family? So that question needs to be answered first. And everybody's going to have the different answer to that. If their decision is to sell, then they need to follow the plan of what's to happen after that. Number one, they probably should consult with their real estate agent of some kind, and someone who is adapted to these crazy times right now, not just someone who's been recommended to them from a friend, from a friend, from a friend who's been doing the business for say 30, 40 years, and they just think it's still normal. It is not normal out there. So they need to find that right company that's going to be able to do that for them. And have a conversation with them. What can I be doing right now? And first thing is probably to see if they want to sell now. Inventory is low. Buyers that are out there right now still have low interest rates, and they're serious now because if they're out there shopping during these times, that makes them a pretty serious buyer. So they can't
Yeah.
capitalize on that now. Second thing is if they are concerned of having people come into the house, or maybe they have a timeline that has nothing to do with the prices of what's going on, or maybe they want to wait 3 months anyway, then having a conversation with the real estate agent to go through the house, see what's going on, and have a conversation about what life was like before Corona and what potential life can be after Corona. Because no one really knows where this is going to go after Corona. But before Corona, mind you, everything was great. The economy was good. People were working. Interest rates were really low. And home prices were going up and inventory was still kind of low. So we had a very strong, healthy economy, a very strong, healthy real estate industry beforehand. We just literally got punched in the mouth really hard. And so if you punch somebody who's really healthy hard in the mouth and they go down, they should be able to come back. But when they come back, be ready. And I think that's what we're sort of hoping here, that we're going to come back stronger than ever before.
All right, that makes sense. How do you take advantage of the value of the house to help tide you through? And I know this is more of a banking question, but you may have a take on it, to use the equity or use whatever, to use the equity or other value in the house to help get you through these difficult times.
Yeah, that's a great question. And that may be something that may become more prevalent if homeowners are losing their jobs or homeowners are taking less income because business is very slow right now. One of the options they may have is to do one of two things: to refinance, and refinancing may be their best option, and get a lower mortgage payment each month. Or if they've been in their home for a while, they may have some equity in their home that they can take out another loan against the house, a home equity loan of credit of some kind, at a pretty great interest rate. But that's a conversation they should have with their lender. And again, they can go to their own bank, or they can try to use someone who, this is what they do for a living, that strictly focuses on mortgages themselves. But I think it's going to be up to what that individual feels is more important. Should I save a couple $100 each month, or can I have a line of credit right now to hold me over to do what I need to do, even if it's just to pay my electricity bills, or regardless of just for doing home improvements, but it could be I need to pay my electrical bills.
Gotcha. All right. If you had a magic wand, what would you do? What are a couple things or three things that you would do to say, poof, this is all over? What should we be doing? What would you do?
I think the first thing I would do is make this virus and anything associated with this virus, the fears, the concerns, any other lingering viruses because of this virus, any other lingering illnesses that because of this virus just go away forever, and all future ones. So I know that may be a couple of waves of the wand, but if we make that just one, let's do that so that people can feel safe and healthy, that they can get out of their house and they can go back to work. I think the second thing would be is that have everybody working again, making more money than ever before, let them spend their money, flush it through the system, let the economy get booming again. And if we can do those two things, that'll go a long way, because not only will it benefit the real estate industry, but it's going to affect all the other industries as well, whether they're medical, whether they're banking industries, health professions, especially. It can only be better. And then, you know, whatever your opinion was of the world before, we're going to have a different opinion once this is all said and done, because we're going to know what's more important now.
Yeah.
And so I think those two things with the magic wand, if we can do that, that would be great.
And I know the first one is out of your control, but the second one, how is LLA kind of making that happen for people now? What are you doing now to help that situation?
Well, right now, our role at LLA Real Estate is to really comfort people, be compassionate with them, be understanding of what their situation is, making them feel like we're still here to help them for all their real estate needs that we can do. And for a lot of people, this hand-holding is something that they really need right now. For some others, we want to still help them move on to the next chapter of their life in the real estate world. If they're looking to buy a home or they want to sell their home, we're still doing that from our end. We have certainly created a system that has, our boutique real estate company has created a system and invested in some tools to be able to adapt to what's going on out there. We are diverse enough to hit the boots on the ground and make things happen for our clients. We're actually selling 2 homes within the next 3 days, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. And we just closed another one a couple of days ago. So business is still going, and our clients still seem to be content with what's going on as long as they continue to follow our guidance. It's a matter of just looking at the real estate world completely different than what it was before. And not to toot our own horn, we were kind of ahead of that curve already, being a media marketing company that sells real estate, to be able to adapt to what's going on right now. We've already had that system in place. Now, we're probably gonna have to be better at it now, because that may be the way of the world right now. And if that's the case, we wanna continue to be ahead of that curve.
Great. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, tell me a little bit about yourself, and tell me a little bit about your background, and also the company. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Okay, so I'm originally from the Bronx, in Bronx, New York. I'm married. I have a 20-year-old daughter who's a sophomore in college, who's home for the rest of the semester. My mother-in-law lives with us as well during these times, and try to make everyone safe. We started the company, my partner and I, Mike Ferraro, and we started the company back in 2016. We both came from a major, big corporate box franchise company that we thought was limiting to what we wanted to do with the real estate market, with the real estate world, and the industry with itself. And we started this company, and it may have been the best thing we both ever did, because it gives us the freedom to think out the box and sell real estate a little bit differently, to be able to maximize the value of each of those homes for our sellers, and at the same time find the best possible homes for the buyers that we have. And in those 4 years, we probably came up to about $100 million. And I know that for some companies that may be very small, but for those companies, they have offices all over the world, and agents all over the world, and that's great. But for our company, between my partner and I, and then we've expanded the company a little bit to be able to do that, and most importantly, in a timely fashion, at the service that our customers, our clients would want, and at the price that they wanted. Those are the 3 things that we wanted to do, and we can do that. So our company's pretty proud of being the media marketing company that we are, thinking out the box a little bit, and it's been a great ride. We've learned a few things along the way which were hard and challenging, but it only made us stronger and be able to adapt, and that's what this is all about, is being able to adapt.
Yeah. And yes, hard times make us stronger, and
Absolutely.
they never last.
Absolutely.
Yes, hard times never last, but people do. All right.
Right.
Anything else that we should talk about?
I guess, just having people feel comfortable, and let's stay strong, let's stay united, and this too shall pass, but we do have to be smart, and we will definitely come back. It's just a matter of when, hopefully
Yep.
sooner than later.
Let me ask you one last question. What's the meaning
Okay.
of life? What's the meaning of life?
What's the meaning of life? I think it's about making others. I'm going to borrow a page from my wife's philosophy book. I think the meaning of life is probably to help others be happy and strong. And by doing that, it'll make you feel happy and strong.
Great. Omar, thank you. I think this has been an interesting conversation, and I learned a lot.
Great, Jim.
And,
Jim, it's been great. I really appreciate the time.
Okay. I appreciate it too. All right.
All right.
Peace. Stay home. Get well.
You too.
And talk to you soon.
All right. Stay strong.
Yep. Bye.